Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's Tuesday's Facebook Live, hosted by the Virginia Small Business Development Center. My name is Tom Stivulis, and I am the owner of True North Group. So today's Facebook Live, we're going to talk about perimeter, makes it really sound like network, perimeter controls, and endpoint solutions. And two very unique things, but both of them are used to protect our networks from unauthorized individuals, whether that be criminals or just somebody who's trying to get into our network that doesn't belong there. So to make it, just kind of simplify it, I like using our homes as a representation of a network. Now, your house has an address that everyone can identify. They look it up, they type in your address, and that brings you to your property. And that's how the internet works. The internet has addresses, and you find those addresses, and it takes you to your address, right? Where your network is located. But because we have different layers of security, we have different elements. And what a network perimeter control would be, for example, when your traffic arrives, it goes to a router. And in that router, now that router is really designed to make sure that the traffic or the request or the data is going to the right address. Right. So maybe kind of like the post office, and the router is going to make sure that the information that's supposed to come to your organization is the correct information. It goes to the correct location. Now, some routers have some capabilities where they can have, some controls that will prevent. It'll kind of deter. It'll say, no, this is not the right address, or this is not that. And it's a layer. So you kind of look at that like maybe a gate at the end of your driveway. All right. It's not always open. It's not always closed. It can be closed. It's more of just like a deterrent to keep people from driving up your driveway. Now, when we get into behind our routers, we have a firewall. And the firewall is really designed to allow certain types of traffic. We've talked about that, different types of protocols. If you have a web server where you have your web page, you have to have port 80 and port 443 open. That firewall will ensure that those ports are open and that type of traffic is allowed to go to your website. And it'll block a lot of other traffic. So, and if you want to look at your firewall, think of that as your front door. Because when someone comes to your front door, you identify that individual, or you try to identify that individual, and you make a determination of whether you're going to let that individual into your network or into your home or not. Now, you'll hear the terms intrusion detection systems. That is basically an alarm system. It's designed to alert you of certain types of undesirable acts, things that the firewall might not do, because they might not try to come through your firewall. They might try different ways to access your network. It could be something as simple as climbing up a ladder to get to the second floor, and then you have sensors on your windows, and we have motion detectors inside our homes. So if someone does enter the house, we have an alerting system. And then you have intrusion prevention systems. Now, those are more active, and think of an intrusion prevention system as a guard at that gate. You identify that I don't want certain individuals to come in, and they look for those individuals, and they block them before that individual can ever even get up the driveway to your house. So, in conjunction, where you have like a firewall, and then you have an intrusion detection system or intrusion prevention system in your routers, it gives you several different layers of security. And you'll hear that term a lot in cybersecurity, where, they talk about layers, because if they defeat one layer, hopefully there's another layer that will prevent them. They're all kind of interlocked, working together. Now, the nice thing is that today's firewalls come with a lot of the services already built in, because they understand that businesses don't want to manage multiple different devices. So a lot of the new generation of firewalls, even for small business owners, have the capabilities to do intrusion detection, intrusion prevention, malware. They have all these different features, and it's really up to you to determine what level of protection that you want. And it's done at very reasonable prices in the grand scheme of the protecting of your data. So, but let's assume that they do get through all of these, all right, or something slips through. That's where endpoint protection is really kind of a very important feature of our networks. Now, it's not antivirus, all right? Some people might want to say that antivirus is endpoint protection. It's really not, because antivirus is designed to that individual device. We install antivirus on all of our devices. Yes, it's an endpoint, but it's really designed to protect that individual affected on a machine. The endpoint protection solution goes into it's a proactive approach. So it will identify an anomaly. It will identify that a certain machine is not acting as it should, and then it will implement certain defensive measures to contain that machine and prevent that machine from infecting the rest of the network. Where antivirus, like I said, if it works correctly, it'll contain that malware, that virus, and it'll quarantine it. But if it's a virus that's not part of a signature that the antivirus can identify, then that virus can propagate throughout your network. So that's where you really want to look at the difference between what an endpoint solution is, and there's a lot of vendors that offer different types of software solutions that can be managed, and they're designed for all types of businesses. You know, they're designed for enterprises, but they're also very valuable to, you know, small and medium businesses. It really depends on the size of your network, the number of endpoints that you have. But the one thing to take away from this is that an endpoint isn't just restricted to a laptop or a desktop, right? Servers, tablets, phones, wearables, iWatches, and things like that, those are all endpoints. But in addition to that, industrial equipment, medical devices that are connected to the network. You know, if you've ever been to a hospital, you'll see lots and lots of medical devices that are connected to the network. Wireless medical devices. So, you know, individuals, there's dialysis, there's pacemakers. They're all reachable through a network, all right? So that's endpoint protection too. So it's not just protecting your desktops. And then really anything where you hear the term IoT or Internet of Things, which is basically any device that is capable of being connected to a network. So that could be your coffee maker, your refrigerator, all of that stuff. Wireless video cameras, you know, we've talked about that, how poor protection for these child video cameras that we use can be attacked by unauthorized individuals, and they can actually monitor your children. So you really, it's somewhat scary, but that's where we have to make sure that we have these endpoint protections. A lot of endpoint protection comes with our devices. It's just understanding where those settings are and making sure that we set them. So you do have things like encryption, you have antivirus, you have all of this other stuff that works in conjunction with your endpoint protection. So that's really it for this week. You know, we talked a little bit about the perimeter controls, which is really protecting the entire network from unauthorized individuals either coming into our network or trying to, cause harm to our network. And then there's the endpoint solutions, which is just that additional layer where it protects the network and all of the devices in there. See, a firewall only routes traffic into your network. It doesn't make a determination of whether it is going to the right location or protecting it. The endpoint solutions do that. So it helps with data loss to make sure that people aren't trying to steal data out of your organization. So that's it for this week. Just a quick reminder that Cybersecurity Month is starting in October. We have a number of hands-on classes that we're going to be training individuals. So everything from, and the first one starts this afternoon at 4 p.m. I'm going to be walking individuals through how to set up your backups, whether you're on a Mac or a PC, whether you want to back it up to an external drive or to your OneDrive or to your or iCloud. We're going to go through all the settings. You'll be able to do it right while we're, I'm going to walk everybody through it while we're on the Zoom meeting. We'll be doing that again this week. And then each week we're doing a different presentation. So we're going to be talking about setting up your encryption. We're going to be talking about setting up a VPN, how to set up your automatic backups to make sure that your systems are backing up. This is something that you can use on every single one of your devices that you have. And so we're looking forward to that. If you're interested, please click the link in the description, and you can go in and see all of the classes that we're teaching. And then again, if you're interested in becoming a cyber champion, there are a tremendous number of resources that are coming out by the federal government to help you make your cybersecurity awareness better. You know, a lot of different documentation. All the resources are free. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. And as always, if you'd like to set up a one-to-one with me, all you have to do is just go to the sbdc.va.org, and we can set up a meeting where we can talk about your individual businesses or networks or your individual concerns. So again, thank you very much, everybody, and you have a great remainder of your Tuesday and the rest of your week.